Dave Swenson. I'm an economist at Iowa State University.
Now we're into the talks of a second round, and just give me your thoughts on, obviously the details are murky, nothing is finalized, but what would a second round look like to you? And why do you think it would be a wise decision?
Okay, first off, it is a wise decision because the economy is still hamstrung from the pandemic, will continue to be hamstrung from the pandemic, and these stimulus programs sustain consumer spending. So that's important. Consumer spending is 70% of our economy. That's why we do most of the economic activity, is to take care of yours and my needs. So maintaining that spending is very, very important, especially in maintaining your Main Street businesses. Now, what's it going to look like? Most people are saying it's going to look kind of like what we had before. We're going to get an initial $1,200. Perhaps, though, it might be more targeted, either based on need or some other criteria. Also talk of extending again, which runs out at the end of this month, it's a surcharge or a SUR benefit on the unemployment receipts of another $600. There has been talk of a payroll tax, a cut in our Social Security tax, but that boggles the mind in terms of it provides way more benefits to high wage earners and way fewer benefits to low wage earners. That doesn't necessarily make sense, and it seems counterproductive. So those are the major things that they're looking at, is basically more of what we did before, perhaps with some initial or extra criteria for eligibility. There's a last one too that came out of the Democrats and is something that perhaps is going to be discussed, and that's what's called hazard pay for essential workers, and some sort of bonus to essential workers. A number as high as $13 an hour was proposed by the Democrats. The House Democrats. We will have to wait and see whether that makes its way through.
Devil's advocate in me, and I'm sure in some other people too, is where's all this money going to come from?
The money comes from basically borrowing. We're just simply borrowing this money. The Federal Reserve is making a tremendous amount of money available, but with regard to the federal government, this is simply, there's no other way to call it anything but deficit spending. This is massive deficit spending in light of a tremendous economic catastrophe.
Have we ever done something like this before? Borrowed so much?
The only time we really had to borrow way beyond what we might call our means was during World War II, in which we ran up debt tremendously relative to the level of the economic activity that was going on at the time to underwrite our war effort. Now, what's going on right now is analogous to that. I can't tell you whether it's proportionate to what happened in World War II, but it's analogous to that. We are engaging in a very high level of deficit spending with the goal of maintaining our economic institutions as well as our social institutions, because had we not done that, had we not engaged in this pandemic stimulus spending across the board, some $3 trillion, we would have rapidly descended into a depression.